Welcome to this week's episode of Biz Success in 15, where top experts share hot tips and strategies that you can implement in as little as 15 minutes to build your dream business. And now here's your host, the Visibility Whiz, Cindy J.
Hi, I'm Cindy J, the Visibility Whiz, and welcome to this episode of Biz Success in 15, where top experts share hot tips and strategies that you can implement in 15 minutes or less. Today, our guest is Fabienne Raphael. She is a business building coach, speaker, and podcaster. She helps aspiring and underpaid coaches become highly paid experts by building their coaching business. Welcome, Fabienne. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, and I'm super excited to talk to you today. We're going to be talking about how to build a business where people can quit their day jobs, the dreaded J.O.B. So before we start speaking about strategies and how to get to quit your day job, I'd love it if you could share a personal or business challenge that you had to overcome in order to achieve your level of success.
Okay, so what I had to deal with, and I think it's a challenge that a lot of people have to deal with, especially when they want to start with their business, and this is way back when I wanted to do something online, is actually I was scared of showing up. I was scared of actually selling anything. I was scared about telling about myself or telling people what I would do to help them. In a way, I wanted to succeed at business, but in another way, like I felt better if I was like hiding in a corner and people not necessarily knowing about me. So it was kind of like a duality type of. So that was a huge challenge for me because again, like you can't reach that level of success if you don't show up, if you don't dare to put your message out there, to put yourself out there and share with people what you're about, your personality, like what you can help them with. Mm-hmm. And I would say that along the way, what really helped me is, of course, surrounding myself with the right people, getting the help from the right coach, and actually work on those limiting beliefs and my self-esteem, and then realizing that, yes, there are people that I could help and that I'm qualified enough to help them and also getting paid for it. So yeah, I would say that was my biggest business challenge.
I love that you shared that. Thank you very much. And, being the Visibility Whiz, this is something that I see so much. It's like, see me? No, don't see me. Or you can see half of me, but they're like so afraid to just show up and be who they are. So there's this inner conflict, as you said you was experiencing. It's like, I want to be visible, but no, I don't. I want to be, but no, I don't. So that can really keep somebody stuck in forever. And until you start building that confidence, like, hey, this is who I am and this is what I have to offer. So I'm really, really thrilled that you shared that with us because so many people have that inner conflict. The limiting, it is a limiting belief, but it's a conflict because you want two things at the same time.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And then what I would add to that is that a lot of people also are scared that their story is not interesting because online, of course, there are several people and there are great marketers that have been there for ages and sharing their story of really struggling and then having this trauma in their lives or something that they really had to deal with that was kind of like survival mode. And sometimes people are scared about that because they're like, wait a minute, like I've never lived in my car, for example, or I've never faced the death of my parents, or I never had that accident that made me not being able to walk for a while. So what would I share with people that's interesting enough for them to pay attention? And sometimes people struggle with that, thinking that their story is not interesting. But what I like to share with these people or with clients when they start working with me is that your story is what interests people because when they do business with you, it's not because of it's because of you. Like they love your personality. They love what you have to share, what you have to do to help them achieve their goals and all that stuff. So whatever you share as a story, as long as it's what you feel, what you are great at, or what you experience, it's very interesting to people that are working with you. So yeah, I wanted to add that because I've heard that so many times. Yeah, but my story is boring. Like I have nothing to share or something like that.
And I'm sure even to add on top of that is the fact that people aren't owning that they know what they know. So you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, exactly. So people are looking, and it's funny because it in my surroundings, like I would say, and with what I see online, it happens most of the time. Like I see people in their 30s, 40s, like whenever they step into that new decade, it's as if like they're having a wake up call and really thinking about, wait a minute, like what I've been doing in my life right now, is it what I want to do for the rest of my life? What kind of legacy I want to leave for my children or for my family or for my peers, my friends, and all that stuff. And then they start thinking, well, maybe the best thing for me is to get some more credential, or I have a bachelor's now, let me go for my master's, or let me go for my PhD, and let me buy that class, and let me see what happens. Well, it's not that it's not good, but it could bring you into that perfection cycle, going into like, I need more of this, more of that, more of this. But the thing is, only with your life experience and what you've been doing, let's say as a job, or that challenge you've been able to overcome, or like something, a talent, a special gift that you have, only that could be enough to actually get started and help at least one person with it. And the only thing you need is to start with one person. Then you have that social proof that you have the qualities, you have the capacity to help people, and then you get going with that. But it's funny because a lot of people think that they need to get some extra and extra and extra all the time. And I'm sure that everybody listening to us right now, they have something special that they do better than anybody else that they could help people with if these people are looking for that solution to the problem they're able to solve.
Right. And the thing is that they doing it better may or may not, make people shrug, like, what do I do better than somebody else? But it's what's in your heart, and it's what you're meant to share with your ideal clients, because whoever you're meant to share your knowledge with is sitting there waiting for you and waiting for you and waiting for you to get visible so that they can learn from you.
Yeah, exactly. Totally agree with you on that.
And so let's move on to our subject. I just love that. It's like, everybody, they want to quit their day, J.O.B, as I call it. Me too. Whenever I actually started an internet business in 2001, and, always trying to find something that I could leave my day job behind. And it wasn't until I found coaching that really enabled me to do that. So it was the happiest day of my life when I left social services. And so what are some tips whenever somebody starts their business and they're like, I want to leave my day job? And even if you don't want to leave your day job, even if you're just getting ready for retirement and you want to do something after retirement, what's the first steps they should be doing?
Oh, okay. So I love to tell people to actually reflect on their personal wins. What they've been able to accomplish since they're a little kid. Because most of the time, it's funny how it comes back to us whenever we decide to go on with coaching or with showing people something or helping them realize something. It comes back to, wait a minute, like when I was younger, I really, really enjoyed doing this. Or, yeah, I was a true leader, let's say, when I was a kid. Or I used to be team captain whenever we play sports and stuff like that. So I'm
sort of laughing because, real quick, when I was a little girl, we couldn't afford like dolls, and I always wanted all these dolls. So I used to take all these ice cream sticks, and I used to draw faces on them, and I would line them all up, and I would teach them.
See? You were already doing that, right? When you say that, and I remember first grade, I was in first grade, and my teacher put me in charge of half of the class because we're singing a song, and it was like two different voices, and she was like, okay, so you take half of the class, and I take the other half, and I was leading that part, and she was leading the other one. And then I'm rethinking about that. I was like, well, like if while I was having all those self-esteem issues or thinking that I could not help others, if I would have reminded myself of, wait a minute, like when I was a kid, what were my qualities and what people were trusting me with, then maybe it would have helped me like say, wait a minute, it's within me. So it's just a matter of uncovering it and just make it accessible to people and help them with that. So that's the first thing I would invite people to do is like, what did you enjoy doing when you were a kid? Or what did people tell you about like, oh my God, you're so the best person at doing this. Or I love when you come here and helping me with this because I feel that you're the most incredible person like with this area of expertise and stuff like that. So not only reflect on it, but ask people that are close to you or colleagues or peers, like, what do you feel my strengths are? Or what do you feel I'm very good at doing? And it could be a great start and make you reconnect with what you're passionate about or what you would be good at, like sharing with people.
I love that. And that's so, so important. People a lot of times want to start with what's going to make me money versus what I'm passionate about. So I absolutely love that you pointed out that that's the first step. Okay, so now moving on, what other steps do they need to take to where they can replace their income or even make more money so that they can quit their job?
I would say that you would need to be in front of a community or start interacting with people with the area of expertise that you want to share your message with. Like, for example, let's take coaching, because like there are a lot of coaches right now, and each and every single one of them have their unique thing that people want to do business with them for. And if, let's say, you're on Facebook or any social media platform, and then you are in a group where they interact about coaching or there's the struggles that you could be a good help with, just listen to the conversation. Well, read the conversations or interact with people or get in touch with them. Just because you are starting an online business, it doesn't mean that you have to be hiding behind your computer and never conversate with anybody and be hiding behind like all that screen and all that stuff. So just, I would say, just get into knowing what people want, knowing what their struggle is, just confirming that you're the right person to help them. Or, maybe it will give you ideas on, wait a minute, I should focus on that part of what I'm good at or what I'm great at, because this is what people are looking for. So I would say the other thing that they have to do is get in touch with people and get into those conversations to see like where they could help people with.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And then the third step?
The third step, I would say, is actually really getting into conversations, like talking to people, not more than just a messenger conversation. If you're having a conversation, chatting with someone, and you feel that, hey, it might be a great fit for you to help them with something, then get on the phone with them and talk to them personally. Why personally? Because this is where they get the vibe of who you are and they get in love with your personality, or you feel also by talking to that person if they are a good fit for you too. Like, are you the right person to help them? You ask them specific questions about where they're at, where they want to go, and you make sure that you can deliver results. Because again, online right now, there are a lot of people, and some of them, unfortunately, are not providing results to the people that they pretend to be helping online. So that's very important when you have those conversations, to be sure that you can deliver results to these people. And then if it's a great fit and you can start doing business with them, then you actually have thought about your offer and maybe the price that you want to charge to that person for your services, and you get started with that. So basically what you're doing is doing some kind of market research at the same time as you're helping someone. So it will help you actually for your second, third client to refine what you want to offer. And also, well, you give, let's say if you have that one client, of course you do everything that you can to provide the best results to that person. And so that person can talk about you in the greatest words. And then you at least have one happy client. who is going to rave about you to their friends, to their social media site, circle, and all that stuff. And you can get started just like that.
Mm-hmm. And so then even with that one client, some people, they may have been struggling for a couple of years and they're like, oh, I have a client here, I have a client there. So how do you help them move forward to where they can achieve their dream of leaving their job?
Okay, so the thing is, of course, it's not like just getting one client or two clients so you can be sustainable with your business. You need more than that. And you also, depending on what you want to offer in your business. But if we talk about a coach, for example, well, it's important at a certain point to really uncover what you want to offer to be, how long you want your, let's say, coaching program to be, or do you want to sell courses, or do you want to have a certain community? Do you want to do group coaching or personal coaching and all that stuff? So I would say that nailing the offer is very important, but not only that, because you could be the best at what you do, but if you don't have the right way to communicate that message to the right audience, then you might stay within any clients for a long time. So what I would say is really important is not only to have like a great offer. Second thing, to be able to present that offer in front of the right audience with the right message. And then the third thing, well, when you get that lead, let's say you're in front of the right people and you get them on the phone, well, it's important to be able to nail that person and convert them into a client so you can get paid for what you have to offer to that person. And then finally deliver those results, because when you do, well, you influence more and more people, because the more people you give results to, the more they talk about you, and the more it's easy for you to get like more and more clients.
And what I love about what you just said is systematic. And that's the only way that anybody can have a sustainable business to where they can quit their day job and earn a decent living from coaching, is by having a system that continuously gets them clients. Because, we're not going to have the same client forever, because if you do, there's something, we just don't. People move. And also people, they move on to different coaches, different mentors, their life changes, everything happens. So it's that system to get the client at the beginning, to start engaging with them, to add value, to see how you can help them, to see if you're a good fit, to converting them to a client. And then you have this system that you can rinse and repeat.
Yes, exactly. That's well resumed.
And Fabienne, I know that you have a strategy that our listeners can implement in 15 minutes or less to build their business. So can you share that with us?
Yeah, so it's something that I really enjoy doing myself. I still enjoy doing that, and it's very easy. Facebook is like international. So whenever I told you a little bit earlier about get into those conversations and see in Facebook groups or on your timeline, like who could be your target person and who could you really help achieve their goals, and from what they are, let's say, interacting with people on, if they're interacting with people on Facebook about a struggle that they have and you can definitely help them, well, I would really encourage you to friend request them and to start a conversation with them. Because most of the time, like this is where it happens. You have to, first of all, connect with the person and then see and discuss about what they're going through and at what stage they are, what they want to accomplish and all that stuff. So 15 minutes a day to communicate with people on Facebook, like, it's very doable. And not only like saying, hey, thanks for connecting, and never ask any other question, but go into like a simple conversation as if you're in a coffee shop and then you're sitting next to someone who's working on something and you just start the open conversation. Mm-hmm. That's how I see it on Facebook Messenger. Like, I treating people like human beings, right? Not necessarily, well, I connected with you because I think I can help you. Okay, so like the person didn't.
Hey, but maybe they can help you and you don't even know it.
Exactly, it could be opposite, right? So it always makes me smile when people are like, like jumping on you and saying, well, I've seen your profile, I knew you're doing this, and I think I can help you. Okay, so all right. Just being human and connecting on a human level before going in, asking maybe questions that could dig into what you could do to help them. And if it gets to that conversation, fine. If it doesn't, fine also. I mean, there are gazillion people on Facebook, right? So it's just like to being able to get to know how to ask the right questions, how to conversate with people, and how to get them on a call, and how to serve them the best way possible. So that's the 15-minute strategy. Really easy to do. So
right. And so, what are some of the comments that you will say? So, if you friended me on Facebook and you were going to message me, what would you say?
Oh, first of all, I would tell you that if you reached out to me, I would ask you like, Thank you for reaching out, Cindy. Is there a specific reason why you wanted to connect with me, for example? So basically, you're opening the conversation, and then you could be like, yeah, I think we're like-minded people. You're coaching, I'm coaching. We have that in common. So, and then all that stuff. So let's say if this is how the conversation was leading, well, I would definitely ask you what brought you into that, or who you're helping, or what have you done today, or have you been working today, or relaxing, or like just things to a simple conversation, right? And then it depends where the conversation leads. Again, like if you're saying that you found, let's say you've worked with a client and then you said, well, I figured this client had that struggle and I helped them with that, and whatever I could actually share with you if one of my clients had the same struggle and all that stuff. But again, like it all depends where the conversation leads. Like we can't predict how it's going to go. When you meet someone on the street and you say hello, you don't even know if they're going to reply. Some people are very rude and not smile or look at you like, what are you doing? I don't know you. And some others are just going to say, yeah, hi, how's your day going? And all that stuff, all those questions. So it's kind of hard to predict like how to bring the conversation into it. Always depends how the people respond to you. But you always keep in mind that if they are a great fit for what you can offer, sometimes you might think they are, but they're not. And sometimes you might think they're not, and they are. So it all depends on how you are talking to them through that messenger bot. Yeah.
And I love that. One of the reasons, too, is you sort of want to know the person a little bit and touch base. I received this messenger once, and it's really cracked me up to no end. I'm like, this person has no idea who I am, because they're like, do you need more visibility? I can help you get more visible. And I'm like, okay. Did they even check me out? I'm like everywhere, but everywhere, it was very interesting to me. I was like, so you number one, don't want to come across as being salesy. And number two, you don't just want to say, hey, this is what I have to offer you. And you especially want to know a little bit about them. So even if somebody friends you, requests to be your friend, it only takes 30 seconds to click over to their profile page and get a general idea of who this person is.
Yeah. And I'm not saying it's not good to sell. I mean, we're all in business to make, to influence others, and also, be profitable at a certain point, right? So it's okay to do business, but it's just like the way to do it.
Exactly.
And if you're too straightforward, or let's say if you want to use that approach, I've seen people using that approach. Well, I have something to offer you. Like, do you mind if I share it with you? So you ask for permission before, and if people are totally fine with it, then they're like, well, shoot it or tell me more, and then you can say about it. But the problem is like when you try to put it to people's throat, like right from the start, like this is not a great way of doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree with you. I love that strategy too. And it's really one that nobody's shared before. So absolutely love that strategy, because it really is a great way to build relationships. And people only do business with people they know, like, and trust. And building that relationship gives you the know, like, trust factor.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Fabienne, I know that you have a wonderful gift to share with our listeners. Can you share a little bit about it?
Yeah, so it's called the Coaching Empire Blueprint. And actually, what it will help you is with your gift, nail the specific audience that you can work with. So it's asking you a bunch of questions to reflect and to clarify really who you want to work with and what you can offer to them.
I love it. Sounds great. So to our listeners, you want to head on over to bizsuccessin15.com/fab, F-A-B, for Fabienne, because she's fabulous. So head on over to bizsuccessin15.com/fab and then grab your own coaching empire blueprint. And Fabienne, do you have any parting words for our listeners?
So my parting word, actually, I feel like sharing one of my favorite success quotes, and it's from Jim Rohn, and it's success is something you attract by the person you become. So we talked about a little bit before that sometimes people get into business to make money, and I'm not saying it's not good to make money. It is. That's one of the goals you should have as a business owner, but that should not be your first intent whenever you go into business. Because when you start something, of course, you're going to have struggles, you're going to have challenges. And the reason why you're doing what you're doing is very important for you to be able to overcome these challenges, and the impact you want to leave to people's lives is even more important. And of course, the money will follow if you have the right strategy and that you are in front of the right people and influence them with your gift. So success is something that you will get along the way if you open yourself to grow more into being a better person every day, but also into knowing and, make it a duty to really have whatever it takes for you as tools to help your audience the best possible. And as long as they see that you're doing your best, I think that success is something that will come eventually and for sure.
I love that. Thank you very, very much. And thank you, Fabienne, for being my guest today. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Well, it was a pleasure to speak with you too. It was awesome.
Thank you. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed today's show, feel free to share it with your friends. You want to head on over and visit bizsuccessin15.com/fab, and you'll find all links from today's show. You'll be able to re-listen to Fabienne's words of wisdom. She gave some really great tips in her we were speaking. You can download the episode. Be sure to share it with your friends if you enjoyed it. You can also catch up on other past episodes. But while you're there, be sure that you grab your free copy of the Coaching Empire Blueprint and start answering those questions to nail down what your perfect business is. Big hugs, and I hope you have a great day, and be sure to tune in next week for another episode of Biz Success in 15. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Biz Success in 15. For all links mentioned in today's show and to watch or listen to previous episodes, visit bizsuccessin15.com. Thanks so much for listening, and be sure to tune in next week for another amazing guest.